It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team? Let's talk about your teammate. Now, it's clear they're excited to have signed with you, so you've obviously been putting a lot of work into the car. I know it's early days, but how do you expect it to feel out there? Most of the other teams can boast years of experience in Formula One. Where do you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains you need to put you within reach of the other cars? Ultimately, your success this season is going to come down to whether you can take positions from the other drivers. What is it about your car that's going to give you that edge in those battles? And finally, with so many specialist departments working together... Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you and, of course, to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
What have we here? I'll tell you what it is. It's a F1 2021 My Team Career Mode with none other than Mr. Nico Hulkenberg. In a shock twist at the end of 2020, he starts his own team, finds his own seat, and is on the quest to get onto that F1 podium. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's quickly go over some of the basics, some of the things I've chosen specifically for this career mode, like my teammate, the livery, the badge, the team name. Starting, as you can see, we've gone for a bit of a Renault theme. It was his last team, as you all know, which I still believe he was unfairly kicked out of for no apparent reason. And now he's back, stealing the Renault brand, on his quest for his first podium, still, after 10 years. You'll see the livery in just a second on the actual game footage where the car reveal happens. You can probably guess what it's going to look like based on what I've just told you. But anyway, going on to other things such as my teammate, I've picked Callum Ilott. It was the best choice out of all the drivers I was given. A good pace, good focus, that's sort of what a backmarker team really needs, in my opinion. Just get that car up the grid, maximise the position. As you saw in the interview, having a big emphasis on aerodynamics to begin with, and heading now into Bahrain for practice 1, for the first session of the new championship season. In this first part of the video, it's all sped up, all in the background, kind of the practice. I participated in FP1 because I think it's a game requirement, but just going forward, I'll be simulating all the practice sessions, as I guess it's a good risk, good reward, and it's a nice fun game to play. Nice gambles you can take in getting resource points and the chances and using certain amount of session time, so that's always a welcome addition to the game. We don't usually see much of Bahrain in the daytime, so it's quite odd every single time you open it up. It just nice little flashback to the good old days when it first came in as a Grand Prix, having a daytime, very, very hot condition race. Yeah, just kind of weird now. We've just gotten so used to having Bahrain at night. Having it at daytime is just a bit more refreshing, if you like. But anyway, just doing a few practice programs here and there. I think I was doing race pace, if I'm not mistaken. Just getting a good feel for the car on different fuel loads. I hadn't actually played this game yet. This was my first taste of the game in general. Apart from a few laps on time trial just as a warm up. But yeah. Oh no, so we've got yeah, race pace. Just using a few flashbacks as well in FP1. I was just getting used to the car, how it handles on different tyre compounds and with different setups as well, because it's still new to everyone. No one really knows what the sweet spot is yet on this game. So yeah, just mind that in the background whilst I talk over it. And you're probably all wondering, how has this come about? I've not really made any gaming videos before. I didn't hint at it at all, be on Instagram or on YouTube. I did have the Cody's ratings, but this is a completely different world I'm entering, commentating over career mode, so we'll see where it takes us. But anyway, going back to the question, why Nico Hulkenberg, why this career mode? Well, he's one of my all-time favourite drivers. It pains me to see him without a podium. I know this is not real life, but, you know, just have a bit of fun, a bit of fantasy with what could be, hopefully, in the future, what could have been in the past. Because, you know, he is a great driver, great guy, and, you know, have a bit of fun. I feel like having your own My Team with yourself, there's lots of that right now on YouTube. And I just wanted to be different, you know, just, yeah, like I said already, enjoy myself, create a bit of a fantasy world for you lot, and yeah, like I said, we'll see where it takes us. As for where I stand on F1 games or sim racing in general, I wouldn't say I'm the most experienced guy out there by any means, so over the course of this series, you'll see me making a fair few errors for sure. I've never league raced before, haven't really found the time to do that. Whenever I do play the games, it's mainly either on TT or just online lobbies. In terms of racing in general, I do karting, so I can race a little bit. I do know the basics. I know how it all works, so nothing to worry about in that sense. But anyway, getting back into it, I didn't notice all the curbs on this year's game are much more sensitive. The curbs, especially in that S's section in Bahrain. Last year, you'd be climbing all over that inside right curb to rotate the car. This year, it will just spin you out. So it's more of a challenge in that sense, and I really enjoy that. It's not just the same old, same old. At least they're making an effort to change the way the car behaves over different surfaces and different circumstances. So that's always good to see. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, just getting a few reds, few purples and greens here and there. Not fully in tune yet. In terms of Bahrain as a track, I do enjoy it in terms of how I perform there, how my pace is relative to other tracks. It's one of my better ones, I would admit that. I do enjoy the track, lots of big braking zones. You can race wheel to wheel there, be it online or elsewhere, so that's always good. I do like the night setting as well. It's quite enjoyable to watch on TV, to drive in the game, so yeah. I think it is a good track for a season opener. Much more forgiving than Australia, for example, where you're diving straight into the deep end, lots of walls here and there, lots of grass, little runoff as well. But yeah, like I said already, forgive the flashbacks for now. Just making lots of mistakes, not really understanding how the handling model works. Yeah, it's quite funny actually watching it back. Yeah, it's something I did notice, the McLaren on my career mode. I don't know if they developed the car in between the launch and round one Bahrain, but it was very competitive, the McLaren, all weekend, so that was something quite surprising. I don't know if it's the same in other career modes or in the game in general, that the McLaren is quite OP, but yeah, we'll see. And here is just testing out the simulation practice game. It's refreshing that, you know, you don't have to sit through the same old practice programs every week, so that's good. It's just plain chance. A bit of jeopardy is always nice. Adds a bit of fire to the game. And yeah, you never really know what you're going to get when you're simulating, taking your chances here. It's good because I'd say since 2016, you go into a career mode practice session, you know what to do. It gets really, really repetitive, if I must be totally honest. So yeah, nice for them to change it up, give you the option just in case you want to experiment with the car, maybe test a few things for quali in FP3 or FP2. So yeah, give everyone something that they want. And yeah, that's the first glimpse of the suit as well. See the avatar as well. Looks a little bit like Hulk himself. Wouldn't say it's quite a like for like, but you know, it's the best I could manage. And I think we are now going into quali. So yeah, that's always exciting. The exciting stuff is about to start. Yeah, the first time you hear the game sound as well. I had it muted before just so I could talk over and just explain everything that was going on. But yeah, heading into quali for the first time. Yeah, it was diving into the deep end straight away on this game. I didn't really do many practice laps in TT or in the practice. I skipped that one. And this might have been my quickest lap, so I'll talk you through it once it starts in about 10 seconds. So you're just lining up the exit, squaring off the final corner. Lap starts from the final corner and going into turn one, getting a nice exit, good top speed, and my braking point was just before the 100-meter board. Hit that quite nicely, hit the apex, hit more curb than I would have liked, going all over the curbs on the inside and exit curb, and heading off down to turn 4, braking again just 100 meters, keeping it nice and smooth, using all the track on exit, and here running a bit wide, but you know, lifting off through there as well. And now this is where the tricky part of the lap starts to happen. Tiny lock up, and now heading into turn 9-10, hardest corner on the track, keeping it tight on entry and going wide to square off the corner. Hit that quite nicely, hit all my marks, and now heading off down onto this high speed corner. Just before the 50-meter board, we absolutely send it in, 4th gear, 5th gear. This part is flat out, and now heading off into sector 3. I struggled through here actually, lots of understeer, made a little mistake, lost about 1 or 2 tenths there, understeering wide, using all the track. On exit, surprised it wasn't an invalidation, and yeah, ending the lap with a nice final corner, and across the line we do a 1:26.455, which was ultimately my fastest lap in quali. And now here's a few other attempts I had. I think I did one more lap, but that was, I aborted it. It wasn't a great lap, and this is my 3rd attempt. I was about a 10th down. It wasn't a tidy lap either, and 26.4 is what we ended up with. And let's see where it put us on the grid for Bahrain.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Bottas, Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. With qualifying...
Bottas on pole, ourselves in P16 and Callum Ilott down in 21st. Not ideal, if I'm being honest. I expected Callum to be a bit higher up the order because the car isn't the second or even worse on the grid. It's lower midfield, so maybe a bit higher from him would have been better. But you know, we move on. Points are scored on Sundays, and hopefully he can have a good lap 1. Hopefully we can have a good lap 1 going into the race. Yeah, just before going into the race, just using a few of the R&D points from practice. Again, like I said earlier, prioritizing the rear downforce and drag / power, straight line speed, because I picked the Renault engine. You know, it's a Renault kind of themed car. So Renault had the lowest performance of any power unit. So that's definitely going to be an area of focus for this year. I picked the alternate strategy, starting on the mediums, going on softs, and we'll see how the race start pans out. Lights out for the first race of the season. We immediately go to the outside, just looking for space, and we end up sending it down the inside, but kind of have to back out of it, be a bit cautious. Harder compound, cold tyres, don't want to be taking any risks right now. And on the run up to turn 4, we have signs on our tail, but we brake really late, make sure he doesn't send it down the inside. And we run a bit wide there, but you know, track limits on lap 1, no one's really paying attention. We go side by side with signs for a few corners. He gets us, but we get him back on down the inside. And I think we hold station until the end of lap 1, but I'll still talk you through it. Yuki Tsunoda gapping us a little bit, but being in the dirty air of Stroll, we're able to close the gap a little bit going on to sector 3. We have Russell attacking down the inside. We brake late, side by side, no contact thankfully, and we keep the position. So yeah, clean lap 1, good racecraft all round from all the drivers, and now just keeping it clean through sector 3, trying to get into the toe of Tsunoda so we don't get out-dragged onto the straight. And we, full send through the final corner, getting a distant toe, making sure Russell isn't in a good position to attack. Moving on to lap 3, nothing really happened with us. Stroll dropped behind Tsunoda, but now it's time to attack Lance Stroll, who was struggling in the early phase of the race. We send it into turn 1, go a bit deep, but Lance Stroll can't fight back. Use all the curb on the exit. We have DRS, so we can't send it back on us, and we keep the position. If I'm not mistaken, from here on for the next few laps, nothing really happened. We did get gapped by Yuki, by Charles Leclerc, and yeah, we just struggled for pace, lacking that good half a second to those guys in the upper midfield. Stroll picked up his pace, passed us on the straight with DRS, and yeah, we were just passengers really. Mercedes power unit and the Aston Martin. Drag and straight line speed is something our car doesn't have at the moment, and yeah, Stroll decided to pit on lap 6. We stayed out being on the mediums, but I was struggling a lot on the harder compound, just was getting gapped by all the cars, couldn't create sufficient gap to the cars behind me, so we throw the dice. We switched to the soft tyre earlier than we would like, but you know, we're out of the points, might as well take a few risks, see what happens. Now we're on fresher soft tyres until the end of the race. Have a long way to go, 6-7 laps, not going to be easy to keep these tyres in check, but you know, might as well try something different. We have Lance Stroll ahead of us, we're going to hunt him down. You know, P13 would be a good result. I think the sponsors wanted us in P15, so we're currently on target, far away from the podium that we're craving, but baby steps for now. And the priority right now was to hunt down Stroll. Here's me setting my fastest lap of the race, but we just didn't quite have the pace on either compound in any circumstance. And as the tyres started to wear out, couldn't quite hang on, and he had a good buffer of around mid 1 second, And yeah, onto lap 13, Sainz comes past us, he wheeled us in, but we're not going to go down without a fight. We send it down the outside, side by side through turn 3, going wheel to wheel. We have DRS, making sure he doesn't send it back on us through turn 4, but the battle isn't over. This is going to go all the way until the end of the lap. To keep it clean through the next few corners, we run a bit deep, but you know, don't lose too much with Sainz being in dirty air. But we need to set up a good exit going onto this next DRS straight after turn 10, and we do exactly that. Nice clean downshifts, square off the corner, get as good exit as possible, and now it's all about keeping Sainz behind us. We move to the inside, he's closing down us quick, but we leave the door open, leave enough space for 2 cars. We hold it around the outside, wheel to wheel, heading into sector 3, and we nudge him off the track fairly, and yeah, that's it. Getting put under pressure really for the first time, holding off another car, but we managed to keep him at bay until the last lap. DRS zone again, Sainz will have another crack at us, he's closing in quickly. Straight line speed, fuel, managing. We move to the inside this time, he goes to the outside, but the move never really was on. And we'll see if Sainz can have one final attack on us going into the final corner. It's quite far behind. Keep it clean through the final 2 corners. Track limits, who cares at this point on the final lap. We're just sending it, going flat out, but there's nothing Sainz can do. Renault liveried Hulkenberg is back, not quite in the points, keeping his former teammate behind, P13. And yeah, solid drive, not quite where we want to be yet, but we can't be there straight away. Hamilton, driver of the day, yeah, bog standard I guess. Yeah, Mercedes win, what a shock, what a shock. I'm surprised that the Red Bull isn't as good on this game yet. Maybe Cody's would have a patch sometime soon with more realistic car performances. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo joins the Merc boys on the podium. Can't see that happening anytime soon in real life, but oh well. Nice to see Danny Rick joining them, spicing it up a little bit. And yeah, solid race all round. Good return to the sport for the Hulk. 10 places away from that illustrious podium. But we'll get there. We'll get there, boys and girls. We'll get there.
Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Some amazing talents out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver
that's the
of the
first
day?
race done. Callum Aylar, our teammate, went up a few places. Yeah, just skipping through the interview. Nothing really changed from last year, so there's not really much interesting stuff going on here. Just skipping through it. Achievement unlocked. Positive vibes. Always nice to see. Yeah, Callum, P18, could be better. First race in F1 for him, so we'll excuse him for now. We are leading this team after all. The results are in our hands. We'll make sure Callum can develop as a driver. Of course, we want both cars being nearer to each other. See if we can fight back in the next race in Spain or Monaco, can't really remember. Here's just us cycling through the R&D, see if we can get any upgrades done for the next race. I don't think we had enough resource points for anything major. There was a power unit one from Renault which we took. It was slightly discounted, but it was obvious we had to take it. In the race, the straight line speed, the drag, a lot of things were big weaknesses. Cars were coming past us left, right and centre, so it was really hard to defend during the race. And yeah, it's something that the car definitely needs some work, and I'm going to be trying to rectify that problem in the coming races. So yeah, that concludes it for episode 1 of the Road to Podium Nico Hulkenberg career mode. If you enjoyed it, please smash the like button and leave a comment what you thought on my first gaming video. Any feedback would be much appreciated. But yeah, until next time, take care and goodbye.